Hello, welcome to Soft Peppers channel. My name is Mr. Godfrey M. I'm an experienced Cambridge International Curricular teacher. In this video, I'm working on a science paper. This is Cambridge Secondary Checkpoint, paper 2 of April 2018. Duration of this paper is 45 minutes. And as I've always told you, first read the instructions first. You need to have a pen, pencil, ruler, calculator when you're doing your paper. Always remember, you need to show your workings. This is science. Science is we need to show our working. Paper is out of 50. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon below. This way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. And let us begin. Number 1, Pierre plays sports called rugby. To keep fit, he eats a special diet and exercises often. You can see Pierre there. To improve his strength, Pierre eats lots of chicken. Part 1. Name the main nutrient present in chicken. Chicken is meat, and the nutrient that is present in meat is usually protein. Explain how this nutrient improves Pierre's strength. Proteins are needed for development of muscles. Therefore, Pierre will have a lot of strength when his muscles develops. Is needed for muscle development. You need proteins for your muscles to develop. Part B, to prepare for a game of rugby, Pierre eats lots of starch, foods such as pasta. Explain why it is important for Pierre to eat starch before strenuous game of rugby. Starch contains carbohydrates, you know that, which is broken down to glucose. And it is this glucose which will provide lots of energy during respiration when he is strenuously subjected in his game. So starch contains carbohydrates, which is broken down to glucose. Of course, glucose will provide energy during respiration. Provides lots of energy. During respiration. Question 2. 2A. Tick the box next to the two correct sentences about gases. Gases flow to fill a container. That's correct. Gases only form at temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius, not right. Particles in a gas are arranged randomly. That is very good. That is very true. Particles in a gas are close packed. That's not correct. Particles in gas only vibrate. They vibrate and move randomly, right? Part B, a gas changes into a liquid during condensation. Describe what happens to the particles in a substance during condensation. So what happens is that particles lose energy. Of course, during condensation, you cool. For any gas to condense, you cool it down. So it will lose energy and, of course, slow down. It loses energy and slows down. When it loses kinetic energy, it will slow down. So when the gases are moving slowly, then force of attraction can come to play. Forces of attraction between particles will increase. Particles between particles increases, and this makes the particles therefore to move close together. This makes particles to move together, to move closer together. Good. Question number 3. But let me remind you, as we go to question number 3, I'm always happy that you guys are watching my videos. But remember, practice makes perfect. I encourage you to practice working out these questions yourself as I guide you. And therefore, I always encourage you to get this same paper that I am solving right now from this side called Solved Papers, solvedpapers.co.uk. It's a very resourceful site. Here it is. This is Solved Papers site that I'm talking about. Solved Papers site that I'm talking about. Very resourceful, full of materials that can help you. We are at, of course, Checkpoint Secondary. There is mathematics, English, and sciences. We are on sciences. So you come here to past papers. Go to past papers. You'll find papers from 2016 all the way to 2019, both October and April when the checkpoint exams happen. The paper that you are currently working on is 2018 2018 April paper 2. This is the paper that you are solving. So you have all these other papers available for you. You need to click here and you come over here to get these papers. You can get mathematics, English, science, or whichever subject you desire. We are doing science, so get science. Of course, 2018 is right here. April, you get this, you get it to a cut. I encourage you to talk to your parent, talk to your mom, talk to your dad, tell them you need these papers. They will make arrangement to get you the papers. The only minimal cost of £5, not much. You also can get all the papers, by the way, at a discount. All the papers of 2019, both maths, science, and English, at a cost of just £14. I hope you'll be able to do that, so that at least you have the papers. As I solve these questions, you also are able to follow along and do the question yourself, not just watching. That out of the way, let's continue with number 3. Number 3, Gabriela makes a sound. Gabriela makes a sound. She looks at the trace it makes on an oscilloscope. The trace is this one, A here. She makes 4 other sounds and looks at their traces as well. We have B, C, D, E. Of course, A is right there in the middle. The question here is, complete the sentences. Choose from the following letters, B, C, D, and E. The sound with the higher pitch than A is, the higher the pitch, the closer the waves are. So the wave that has got a higher pitch than A is E. You can see the distances between the waves, or what we call the wavelength, is short. So the waves are close together. So they are the frequency. The closer the waves, they are the frequency. The sound with the larger volume, louder than air, is for volume, you check amplitude. Amplitude determines volume. So the higher the amplitude, the greater the volume. The amplitude of air is this distance. That is the amplitude of air. And you can see it has the same amplitude as B. Actually, B is the one which has got a bigger amplitude. The amplitude of B, the distance from here to here is the amplitude. Also, the distance from here to here is still amplitude, right? So the amplitude of B is larger than amplitude of A. You can see the amplitude of C is smaller than that of A. So B is the loudest. Both D and E similar amplitude as A. C has got the volume that is a little bit less, or quieter. It's a little bit more quiet. Then A, the sound with a smaller frequency than A is, of course, that is D. The farther apart the waves are, the smaller the frequency, and therefore the smaller the pitch. Sound with a smaller amplitude than A, if we have said that one is C. You can see C, the amplitude of C is smaller than the amplitude of A. So C is less loud compared to A. Question number 4. The drawing shows a mammal called Philippine tarsier. Tarsiers live in rainforests, jumping from tree to tree. They rarely touch the ground. They sleep during the day and hunt insects at night. Okay, Philippine tarsier. There you are. Part A. Use the drawing to suggest three ways tarsiers adapted to their habitats. You can see they have got very large eyes. So large eyes to see the insects. Large eyes. Let me call it large wide eyes. Large wide eyes. Of course, to see the insects when they gather in more light. More light, of course, they'll be able to see clearly. Can also see their fingers as long, as long fingers. As long fingers to hold on to the trees. To hold on trees. And you can see their hands. They are very muscular. The hands and the feet has big muscular legs. Has big muscular legs. Of course, you need strength. You have to keep on hanging on trees. for limping. We are told they limp from one tree to another. Part B, Philippine tarsiers are an endangered species. Tourists have to pay to photograph these tarsiers in special nature reserves. Suggest 2 ways this can help to increase the number of tarsiers in the wild. When tourists pay to photograph in the natural reserves, how does this help increase the number of tarsiers in the wild? Of course, the monies that the tourists pay, can talk about the money. The tourists pay money. Money the tourists pay can be used to improve the reserves. Of course, this will mean that more tarsiers will be born, and these ones can be transferred to the world. And of course, the money can also be used. When the tourists pay. The money can be used to buy food for the tarsiers. So when the tarsiers in the natural reserve multiply, then they will be transferred to the wild. And therefore, that will increase the number of those tarsiers in the wild. Natural reserves, basically those regions that are under protection for purpose of this endangered species. Number five, and so I always tell you guys, I'm always happy that you watch these videos. I do welcome you to join me at my online classes. I usually have some online classes for tuition. If you need tuition, get in touch with me at site we call SP Academy, spacademy.co.uk. Here is the site, SP Academy. SP stands for Soft Papers Academy. I would like you to come right here at Student Guide. Click here for a step-by-step guide for students' dashboard functionalities. Watch this video to get familiar with online live classes that we do. We offer various subjects: ICT, maths, physics, biology, and chemistry. We add in more subjects as demand increases. Of course, you can also look at the reviews of those people we have handled right there. We teach students from all over the world, Dubai, London, everywhere there where CIE is done, where Cambridge checkpoint is done. So I need you to come here to the login. Come to the login right here. Then I need you to register to create an account. Registration is straightforward, and of course, once you do that, then you can find a tutor that suits you. So I've told you my name is Godfrey M. There I am. You can book a lesson with me. I'll be very glad to help you out. So looking forward to seeing you in my class. You should be able to guess that I'll charge you fairly. If it's a one-to-one teaching, if I only have one student in my class, I only charge £35 per hour. If you've come along with three other friends, so that you are 4 or 5, students, then I'll give you a fair price of 25 pounds every hour, and I guarantee you will discover a great opportunity of getting outstanding grades. As I've told you, I've got experience. I know what Cambridge requires. I'll guide you, supply to you with all the materials that you need, and you'll be quite okay. So I'll ask your dad, your mom to help you with this signing in. And then, of course, I look forward to meeting you in one of my online classes. Thank you. Let's continue with question number 5. Question number 5. Let me clear this. Yuri investigates the reaction of metals with acids. We have metal A, B, C, all the way to metal D. A, of course, you can see some metals are producing more bubbles. Metal C is producing most bubbles, followed by B. D is producing only little. A is unreactive with the acid. Of course, from what you've learned so far, I'm sure you know that when metal reacts with an acid, when a metal reacts with an acid, what we get is a salt plus hydrogen gas, right? So these bubbles you're seeing here are basically hydrogen. Okay, so part A, complete the column heading and column heading and table to show Yuri's results. So this is metal. You can see A has got 0, B has got 6, B has got 6 bubbles, so this must be gas bubbles, right? So this is bubbles, of course, from the gas, which happens to be hydrogen. It happens to be hydrogen, right? So C, how many bubbles can you see in C? When you count them nicely, you'll find them, there are 15. There are only 3 in metal D. You can see 1, 2, 3. B, describe how Yuri could improve his method to find the volume of gas produced. Tick the box next to the correct answer. He should collect the gas in a measuring cylinder, and therefore it will be able to measure how much gas has been collected. And I think that is correct. Collect the gas in a test tube. A test tube will not be able to help him measure and know the volume of the gas. Repeat the experiment the same way. There will be no improvement there if he does it the same way. You use a smaller piece of metal. The smaller piece of metal will have less surface area, and therefore the reaction will be much slower. So that will not be an improvement. Very well. C, Yuri repeats its experiment with more concentrated acid. Yuri makes the prediction. If I use more concentrated acid, I will get faster reaction. The diagram shows his results for each second experiment, of course, with more concentrated acid. So, is Yuri's prediction supported by his results? You can now see metal A, which was not reactive earlier on, is now producing 2 bubbles. B is producing much more bubbles, C and D as well. So Yuri's prediction is correct. So the answer here is yes. Explain your answer. Of course, you can see there are more bubbles in each one of the tubes, and air, which did not have bubbles, has now bubbles. So the explanation is that according to predicted Yuri's prediction, the reaction will be faster. So there are more bubbles. There are more bubbles in the There are more bubbles in the tubes. So Yuri's prediction is correct, and that is the explanation there. Okay, that's it. Number 6. There are many objects in space. Which objects is a source of light? Circle the correct answer. Asteroids, those are just rocks, they don't produce real light. Earth, where we are at, no light. Moon, we also know does not produce light. Planets, Earth included, do not produce light. What produces light are the stars. Circle stars. Comets are not sources of light. How? Explain how. Explain how we can see comets even though it is not a source of light. We always see when light is reflected back to our eyes. So if comets are not sources of light, we can only see them when light from the sun or from the stars falls on the comet and then is reflected to us. So comets reflects. They reflect light either from the sun or reflect light from the sun off its surface. So when the light from the sun falls on the surface of the comet, it will be reflected, and that light will get into our eye. Then we'll be able to see the comet, although it does not produce. Number 7. The dodo became extinct in the 17th century. This is the dodo. The dodo was flightless, could not fly, just like an ostrich or kiwi. It's a flightless bird which lived on the islands of Mauritius. The dodos built their nests on the ground. Dodos had never met humans before humans arrived on the island. The dodos were not afraid of the humans. Humans brought new animals to the island such as cats, dogs, rats. The human removed most of the forest where the dodo lived to build new homes and create farmland. Write down 2 reasons why you think that the dodo became extinct. 2 reasons. After given all that story, you should pick up 2 reasons. So one of the reasons is that these dodos were not afraid. They were not afraid of humans, so they would just come close to humans and humans can catch them easily. So one reason is they were not afraid of humans. Are not afraid of humans. So humans could easily catch them. So they were easily caught. They were easily caught. 3. Humans brought cats, dogs, and rats. So new animals that were brought by humans ate the dodo's food. So there was a competition for food, and since dodos could not fly, they could not compete effectively for food. They ate the dodo's food, and also some of the animals, like the dogs, could easily catch the dodo and eat them as well. Those 2 reasons and many more reasons that you can figure out caused extinction of dodos. Question number 8. When the lithium is added to water, it forms lithium hydroxide and a gas. Lithium to water, lithium hydroxide and gas. Complete the word equation for the reaction between lithium and water. So the reactants are lithium, water. We are told it forms lithium hydroxide. So lithium hydroxide and gas. Of course, the gas here should be specific. The gas is hydrogen. Good. B. The chemical symbol for lithium is Li. The formula for water is H2O. The formula for lithium is LiOH. Which of these substances is an element? Choose lithium, water, lithium hydroxide. Lithium is the element. You can see water is a compound because it's made of nitrogen and oxygen, which are different elements. Lithium hydroxide is made of 3 elements: lithium, oxygen, and hydrogen. So what is the explanation here? Why are we saying lithium is an element? So elements only contain one type of atoms. That's why lithium is an element in this case. You can see right here it has only one type of atom, contain one type of atom. C. See, lithium is in group 1 in the periodic table. Diagram shows some of the elements in group 1 of the periodic table. We have sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. Describe how the reactivity of group 1 metals changes. You go down the group. Metals react by losing an electron. So the further down the group, let me say that metals react by losing an electron. Losing electron. And the electrons lost is in the outer shell. So down the group, atomic radius increases. Atomic radius increases. So it is easier. It is easier to lose the outer electron. Down the group, and therefore that means that the reactivity of group 1 elements increases down the group. Increases down the group. Increases down the group. Question 9. Blessing investigates conduction of thermal heat energy. She heats a metal rod. The metal rod has a pin attached with wax. This is a wax metal rod. When the end of the metal rod is hot, the wax melts and the pin falls. Blessing must think about the safety hazards of this investigation. Describe two hazards, safety hazards of this investigation. One is UC heat. so there's a risk of getting burnt. So risk of getting burned. Risk of getting burnt. That is one safety hazard. Of course, the apparatus are hot. As the apparatus gets hot. Secondly, the pin is sharp. You can see here the pin is sharp. So there's the risk of getting pricked by the pin when it falls down, or when she's handling the pin. The pin is sharp, or has got one sharp end. Let me put it that way. The pin has sharp point. So blessed risks get pricked. Very good. So there. Question number 10. Diagram A shows the flowers of our flower orchard. Diagram B shows a flower orchid, flower being feasted by insects. Right? A is a flower orchid. B is the orchid feasting a flower. Okay. Part A, the flowers of this orchid releases chemicals which smell like a female fly. Suggest 2 reasons why the male flies travel great distance to visit these flowers. Of course, the smell is carried by air. Therefore, the male flies can smell long distances. So the smell is carried in air for long distance. Secondly, the flowers smell like a female fly. The male attracted to female, which attracts the male fly. We call them the male flies. The orchid is pollinated by insects. What is meant by the term pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same or another flower. Of course, I know you know that. If you didn't, then you know it now. Pollination is the transfer of pollen, of course, pollen grains from the anther this is the male part of the flower to the stigma. Stigma is the female part of the flower of the same or another flower. That's what we call pollination. And of course, when that happens, we say fertilization has occurred, then reproduction. Number 11, diagram shows the structure of a boron atom. Name particles Y and Z. Particles Y and Z. You can see particle Y is in there, and particle Z is also in there. That is the nucleus of one atom. So particle Z, how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Particles Y are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And out here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that in an atom, the number of protons, of course, an atom has got 3 particles: protons, neutrons, and electrons. And protons are equal, the number of protons are equal to the number of electrons in an atom. So then now you can see we have 5 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to know which is a proton and which is a neutron in here, we count, and the ones that are equal to the electrons are the protons. So the white ones are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the white ones are the protons, which happens to be Z particles. So particles, these are protons, and basically the others, therefore, are neutrons. Question 12. Rajiv puts a piece of wood on a pivot. He adds weights at different distances from the pivot. Because there are weights of 4 newtons. Then this weight here called air. 4 newtons are 3 meters from the pivot. Then air is 2 meters from the pivot. We are told the wood is balancing. It's supposed to calculate what is the weight of air. So when the wood is balancing, then we know that clockwise moments are equal to the anti-clockwise moments. So we know that clockwise moments are equal to anti-clockwise moments. And therefore, we know that moment of force is equals to force times distance. Therefore, for air, which is the clockwise moment, this is the clockwise moment, which is going this direction, and this from 4 newtons is anti-clockwise moment because it's going the different direction. Okay, so air is the clockwise moment, so it's going to be air, this is the weight, times the distance from the pivot to where air is acting right there, which is 2 meters, because moment is force times distance, is equals to anti-clockwise moments, which is 4 times 3, 4 newtons times 3. And of course, 4 times 3 is 12. And we divide both sides by 2. So we'll get, of course, let's do this. 2air is equals to 12. Divide both sides by 2. We'll get air is equals to 6 newtons. So the weight of air is 6 newtons. Right there. Question number 13. Plants are able to use light energy to make their own food. They've used light energy from the sun to make their own food. You can also light a bulb and put a plant in the house and still make its own food. One substance, name substance that plants use to make their own food by this process. Of course, one of the substance is water. One substance is water, or carbon dioxide. One of these will do. We're taught to name one substance that plants use to make their own food by this process. So either water or carbon dioxide. You don't have to name both. Number 14, tick the 3 correct properties of magnets. Like poles of magnets repel. That's correct. North and north will repel. Magnets have north and south written on them. That's not a must. Magnets do not work if they are in water. They will work. So that is not correct. Magnets attract ions, cobalt and nickel. These are what we refer to as magnetic materials. So that is correct. There are some metals like magnesium, aluminium, copper. They will not be attracted by magnets, so they are non-magnetic materials. For the forces of attraction is greater at the poles than in the middle of the magnet. That's correct. Magnets are strongest at the poles. Number 15. Planets orbit the sun. Write down the names of planet A, B, and C. So this is number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 planets. Of course, you can have a saying that will help you remember. I always use this. My very educated mother. My very educated mother just showed us nature. This M here is for Mercury. This V here is for Venus. E here is Earth. M here is Mars. J here is Jupiter. S is Saturn. U is Uranus. N is Neptune. So then, number 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So A, which happens to be number 5, is Jupiter. A is Jupiter. B, which happens to be number 7, is number 7 is Uranus. And lastly, number 8 is Neptune. It's easy as that. Question number 16. Priya connects electrical circuit. Okay, you have the circuit here, 2 bulbs which are parallel, a switch, and a cell, of course, and the connecting wires. What type of circuit is shown in the diagram? Circle the correct answer. This is a parallel circuit with a closed switch. So the first one is correct. Series is not correct, so the series are not. Parallel circuit with open switch, that is not correct. The switch is closed, as you can see right there. Parallel and series, the only parallel. There's no series. B. Priya wants to measure the current in the circuit. What is the name of the meter she uses to measure current? So this is usually an ammeter. An ammeter is what is required to measure current. Don't like that. An ammeter. Okay. Here is the last question. Jamila is a skier. I don't know how many of us are skiers. Here are the time and distance measurements for 3 of Jamila's journey. There, journey A took 30 minutes for a distance of 40. Journey B took 60 seconds for a distance of 120 meters. Journey C took 60 seconds for a distance of 30 meters. Okay. Journey B has the greatest average speed. Explain why. Of course, speed is equals to distance over time. So you can calculate the speed here. For A, the speed is equals to 40 divided by 30. Should give us 1.33 meters per second. B, speed is 120 divided by 60, which will give us 2 meters per second. Then C, is speed is distance, which is 30 divided by 60. This will give us 0.5 meters per second. And therefore you can see B has got the greatest average speed. Explain why. We can see that in 60 seconds, A travels 80 meters. Of course, because he's traveling 40 meters in 30 seconds. So in 60 seconds, you travel 80 meters. But B travels 120 meters, while Journey C, she travels at 60 seconds, she travels 30 meters. So it's obvious in B, she has the greatest speed because she covers the greatest distance at the same time of 60 seconds. Because in journey A, in 60 seconds she covered a distance of 80 meters. In journey B, she covered same time 120 meters, and in C, same time 30 meters. So to cover more distance, you need to have a higher speed. Since she traveled further. She traveled further. She travels further. It's 60 seconds. That's it, guys. Great to have you watch these videos. I hope they are of help to you. Tell somebody else, tell your colleague about the videos. Let them also have an opportunity to get help from this kind of videos if you find them useful. Thanks a lot. See you in my next video. Cheers.